I watched the videos of other people who, were on this channel that you interviewed, and they were so helpful to me. And so just let you know, like these are honest, true stories that I'm telling you. This has been my honest experience, and it's okay to do it. Like you will, even just try one of them, and once you see it, you'll want to keep going. Even if you stop at one property, even if you buy one, rehab one, and stop, it's going to make sense. You're going to be so happy. I could have stopped at one or two, and I'd have cash flow every month. That's what I was looking for. It's so much easier than you could imagine. It truly is, and it's not like some sleazy deal. It's not some pyramid weird thing. There's no weirdness. There's no ickiness dealing with anybody. I just feel like there's a group of hardworking, honest people that are just all connected, and that we found through you, Rhett, that you've kind of assembled this team.
Hey guys, Rhett here. What is going on? Do I have a treat today for you? I want to introduce everybody to my client, Cyrus. Guys, Cyrus has been in the program for 7 months. He has done 4 properties that he owns, rented, and through the rehab process. He has 2 more under contract that are going to close in the next couple of weeks. So in the first 7 months of the program, he's going to have 6 houses up and running. Cyrus, first of all, thank you so much for coming on the channel today.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. I'm so happy. I'm so honored. Like when you asked, I was like, what? So yeah, it's great. Thank you.
6 houses in 7 months, ridiculous. If I told you 7 months ago you'd have 6 houses in such a short period of time, what would you have thought?
Um, I would have been like, whoa, let's just slow down and let me see. I've had a secret fantasy. Like a year ago, I wrote down, I want to have 5 investment properties, actually in 5 years. Um, but yeah, I was just after the first, the first one, the second one, I just was like, wow, this is great. This is just rolling out so nice and smoothly. And I'm so happy. Yeah.
Good. And all right, so before we even get into all that, I want to give
Sure.
everybody a little bit of a background on you, your real estate experience, where you live, what got you into Section 8. Just kind of give me a little background on that so everybody watching can have
Yeah, you got it. So I kind of grew up around real estate. My parents had a triplex and had some land, and that's what I used to do after school. I'd go fix up the units, and then my dad would pay me. I was a middle school kid, so I kind of had that a little bit in the blood. And I started doing stuff out here, in LA. Like really, I got $10,000 and I bought a 1 bedroom condo, and it was the best decision I ever did. It quadrupled. And then, my husband and I bought a fixer upper. I actually had met a contractor through some friends, and then he helped me fix up my condo because I'd done some Home Depot classes and stuff, and then we found a fixer upper, and he was able to do the work. And then we moved out of that. We lived there for 2 years, and someone bought the whole thing, furniture and everything. And then we bought another place out here in LA and kind of leveraged the money a little bit. And the guy fixed up, I had a little bit of a team, so to work with. So we were able to do a few properties. But I also just wanted to, I've been working, for years and years and years for myself, for other people. I really started to really think about like passive income. And my dad had always said, gosh, the best decisions he made were in real estate and keeping properties and geez, he's 92 and he gets income from those properties. And I just thought, that's the direction I want to head. So we started looking. You can't touch anything in California anymore. I mean, it's just crazy. It's just nuts. So I had some regrets. I didn't buy another place or anything out here, and so I looked in different markets. My husband's from Kentucky. I looked kind of out there to see what was affordable, and then I found you online, and I just started watching. Like I think I watched all of your videos. Be up in the morning, I'd be playing them, be walking around, folding laundry, listening. Just like I just wanted to hear everything, and I actually had talked to a couple other people also, before I made the connection with you and yeah, it was just it wasn't the mentorship I was looking for or the vibes, and then yeah, I think I reached out to you and we set up a call and just kind of talked about my goals and I just appreciated all the information you were giving out, the research you'd already done on properties. So I didn't have to start completely cold in a new market. I don't know anyone in Birmingham. I don't know contractors to use. I don't know property management. I wouldn't know who to call to clean up the yards or fix things, And I'm right where we co-own a business out here, so I'm busy with another career too. So I don't have the capacity to do all that research and afford to be able to make all those mistakes, of going down the wrong road or hiring the person who doesn't complete the work or does a crappy job. So I was just yeah, so appreciative to be connected with your team. Um, and I could kind of relate to it. I help my friends out in LA who need, oh, I need a plumber, Cyrus, or I need an electrician, or blah, blah, blah. I always try to be a resource. And I just kind of felt that same generosity from you as far as, your connections. And anytime I had a question, um, about anything, oh, I need this done, or I need this, or I need a loan person, or, whatever. It was just, you have a whole, we used to call them Rolodexes, but, you have a whole network of people. Um, so, yeah, so it's made it just a easier thing to do. Um,
And Cyrus, you've been killing it. And one of the things I always talk about is starting slow, doing one at a
yeah,
time. And when I tell that to people, they're like, oh, well, I'm never going to be able to get to 10 units. I'm never going to be able to get to 20 if we're doing one at a time. You've done every single one of these properties one at a time,
yeah, yeah,
slowly, meticulously. We've waited until one's done before you buy the
yeah,
next. And in 7 months, you have six.
yeah.
What has that been like for you?
Um, so the first one was kind of like the because you're just new and you're learning how it all kind of rolls out, and it was probably the scariest. But once the first one kind of went through, and then I remember you called me one day and said, I've got this other property. It just kind of fell through for another client. I just want you to know about it. Um, I just thought, well, I should just go for it. I looked it up really quick and it made sense. And I just appreciated the fact that you'd already inspected it. I didn't have to start from all the way I could start from the beginning. Had already progressed so much. And then I just realized, wow. And then once, you know, um, you start getting the checks or you start getting the deposits and you can look up on the portal that the management company has and you can see everything. It just made so much sense. I just felt really kind of secure and safe and like wow, let's keep going down this road. So it's been great. It's felt really less and less scary, after the first one. And then it just, like I said, it just, yeah, it was just kind of there's just a great foundation there.
Yeah. And when we put all these, we're going to go through all these here in a couple minutes, Cyrus. But when we put together the gross cash flow for all these units, it's going to be well over $8,000 a month that you've created in almost half of a year. And you did it by creating a proof of concept and saying, this works. I like this.
Hmm.
Let's just repeat it. And everything you're saying is so true. And I hope everyone's listening to exactly everything you say. And guys, what Cyrus has been saying in the first couple minutes of this call is incredibly important. He's an entrepreneur. He doesn't have the bandwidth to be in the weeds every
Yeah.
day, doing all of the odds and ends to make this thing work, right? A lot of you watching this, you don't have the capability to do that either because you have families, you have jobs, you have things that pull your attention away. And you can't always devote 100% of your time and attention to this. And that shouldn't be a reason why you can't get in. And then exactly, you're so right there too, Cyrus. And that's something that's so relatable also is you don't have the money to lose. And nobody does.
Yeah.
You have the money to
Yeah.
make mistakes. So why do it, right?
Yeah.
I would say this, and this is something absolutely insane, but you and I have been working together now for 7 months. We've been able to do 6 houses. And for those of you who don't know how I work hourly. I work on a retainer of 8 hours of time, and we haven't even gotten there yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
We haven't even used up 8 hours of time. Properties. Like, think about how efficient that is, right? Like,
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Truly it was. And that was one of the questions I asked you when I first kind of signed on was like, okay, well, 8 hours. Like I thought to myself, if I have to do research for 8 hours, like I'm just going to be blowing through time with you. You know what I mean? Like, and then I just kind of realized like because of the information that you so generously give, like in your weekly emails to everybody, um, and and it's so simple. It's so simple that you're right. It didn't, um, anytime I have a question, I just kind of text message you or we talk for a few minutes and, um, yeah, yeah.
and
It's
Cyrus,
been,
isn't it ridiculous when you think about it? It's like crazy.
yeah, it is.
Um, Talk to me a little bit about Section 8. So, what kind of drove you into that niche of real estate?
Oh, great question.
I want to do this.
Great question. Great question. Well, kind of like you see it kind of blowing up, on Instagram and people are talking about it on YouTube and bragging about it and stuff. But what I really liked was, first of all, of course, there's a whole myth about, oh, they're going to trash your house and all this kind of stuff. But when you listen to the facts about, you get direct deposit, you get paid by the government. So I'm not worried about collecting rent or, they're either paying all of it or most of it. That comes directly to you. The houses are inspected, you know, um, before they're rented and the tenants are screened. And I spoke with the property management and they really, they told me exactly how they screen the tenants. They look at evictions and they look at, criminal record, and how they screen them and how they get good people in who want to stay in houses. And so one of the things I did too is my husband and I, we thought, well, if we get a house, I like the idea of having long-term renters because every time someone moves out and moves back in, you're spending thousands of dollars. But if you can get a family who's happy to be there, and that's one thing you talk about on the channel is get big rooms where there's gatherings, where people that becomes their home base, that becomes, where the family gathers and enjoys holidays and people stay in those houses for a long time. And so that's what I was looking for. And I just thought it was a great program. I thought it was a great program. And yeah, I'm really happy with it. So
Yeah, and Cyrus, you mentioned you live out in California where purchase prices of properties are astronomical.
yeah,
It doesn't even make sense, especially you talk about 7-8% interest rates. You can't cash flow anything
no,
because the
yeah,
rent is always going to be less than what your mortgage payment is.
sure.
Property taxes in California through the roof.
Yeah.
Insurance costs in California. Some areas in California, insurance companies are leaving. State Farm just left the entire state because the insurance is getting so high because of all the natural disasters. So you're talking property taxes, purchase price,
Sure.
and above all else, the laws. Really, really not good when you're on the landlord side of things.
Yeah, you're right.
Or if you did have to move rent up, there's rent control in half of the cities in California.
Yeah.
So we don't have a lot of strong arguing points to invest in California. So what you did was you said, I want to invest 2,900 miles away on the other side of the country. You're currently invested in Alabama. Before this, have you ever been to Alabama?
No, I'd never been to Alabama. I'd been to Kentucky before, but I knew nothing about Alabama at all. Nothing. So
one thing that you've done, though, I will say this, and I respect this, is, and you don't have to do this, of course, but you flew out and you looked at 4 of your properties before you decided to buy 2 more. What was that like? You have 4 properties you own, and then you say to yourself, you know what? I bought 4. I think it's time to go see these. Is that kind of what you were thinking?
yeah, we wanted to plan a trip to the South anyway and hit Atlanta and see a friend and hit some family in Kentucky. So we just thought it'd be a great time. And like you said, we had bought 4, and it just, that's where it kind of made sense too. I said, well, let's go see what's going on there. And then I wanted to meet, the team, that you're working with. And sorry to make it up to Nashville to see you, but at that point I thought, I think it's actually more important that I meet the property management, the real estate. Not that I didn't want to meet you, but I was like, we'll meet Rhett next time, but I really want to see who is like the boots on the ground right there, and so, and we had a great lunch and a great meeting with the property management, and yeah, it was great. It was great, and I really liked Birmingham. I thought it was beautiful. It was a great city, and there's a ton of great restaurants you can go to, and it was easy to get around. And yeah, I wanted to check out the neighborhoods, and see what was close by. I'm not looking for like a lot of course, I'm looking for, some equity, but also just cash flow. That's my biggest concern. I wasn't looking to buy in areas that are gonna, explode over the next few years. I bought in good areas, but I want nice, stable areas where working people can have access to freeways, and it's close to, industry and stuff. So I was really happy with the areas.
Yeah. And it's a good segue into, let's talk about your properties. And I'm sure everybody wants to know what the numbers look like and how everything's doing.
Sure.
So the first property you bought it for $55,000. We put 45 into it for 100 even. It rents for $1,020 a month, 100% Section 8.
Yeah, amazing.
First one, we beat the 1% rule.
Yeah.
It was easy. That was like a single. It was a base hit, get you started, get you comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah.
The next property we buy is probably my favorite of yours. And I remember when I walked in there, and at the time I had a client that had it under contract. It was a little bit out of their budget. And I said, this is going to be perfect for Cyrus. It was disgusting, falling apart, gross. Nothing had been changed since the 60s or 70s. We went in, added another bedroom. We redid the entire house. You bought it for 65. You put 60 into it for 125, which is a little bit higher than we usually go. But it was a 4-bedroom, so it makes it okay.
Yeah.
And
that's what I liked about it too.
Loved that. And it was in a unbelievable, one of my favorite neighborhoods.
Yeah.
In the city. That one rents for $1,286 a month. So we beat the 1% rule again, and all that money's guaranteed too. So within a snap of fingers, you're bringing in $2,300 a month in guaranteed money from the government. You don't stop there. The
Yeah.
next unit we buy for 58,000. We do 50,000 in rehab to it. That one needed a ton of structural work, all new sewer lines, new roof, new, you name it, it needed it. The reason we spent over 100 on that one, that's a 3-bedroom, but the ARV on that was so high
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
around it is sold for 150 to 170,000. We're
Yeah.
going to walk into so much equity in that house. Of
Yeah.
course,
I'm so excited about that.
it's still going to rent for $1,200 a month, but
Yeah.
like you said, it was a little bit different. We went after the high ARV play there.
Yeah. That's where I was kind of, after doing the first two, like we looked at it and then I thought, well, if we're going to do that, that Bur strategy or, keep scaling or, adding more, this would be a great direction to go into because that ARV value was so, you know, incredible. So that's the reason we did that. At that point, I was like, yeah, let's go for it. You know,
Yeah, and it's hard too, Cyrus, finding houses that are 58 grand in areas where the ARVs of homes are 160. So you're talking
sure,
$100,000 delta there, which
yeah,
just you don't really find. So usually you find a 30 or a 40 or 50,000, and then you do the ARV after the rehab. You don't usually
yeah,
find yourself with more equity than the purchase price, right?
yeah, crazy,
That's ridiculous.
crazy, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
that is done. That's going on the market. We're ready to go there. So
mm,
we'll have a renter in no time there. And that's going to pump your cash flow up from 2,300 to 3,500 in just those
yeah,
first
and that one, the pictures I saw the pictures,
huge room.
huge rooms. Like I thought, oh my God, I would love to live there. Like huge, incredible.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
then you didn't stop there. Then we bought another house. We're into it for
yeah,
55,000. We bought it for. We put 45 into it, again, into it
hmm,
for 100 on the nose. Those are pictures you saw this morning.
yeah,
That's 4-bedroom. That's going to rent for 1,300 a month, bringing cash flow up to about 4,800 a month. I mean, you did a huge rehab there. At this point, you're doing all these big rehabs, but you're seeing the quality of work. You're seeing what's being done. You're seeing the transformation in what these units are before and
hmm,
after. Do you like doing these bigger rehabs versus buying these things more turnkey?
yeah. Well, the numbers make so much more sense. Especially if you want to keep doing this and kind of scale increase your portfolio. And what I also like too, Rhett, is I like the balance of you fix the things that need to fix. We don't skimp on the foundational, the important structural stuff, the roof. We put in new carpet. We take out ceiling fans. We take out stuff that's going to break. Like I'm happy to buy new appliances. Like I don't want a lot of repairs and I don't want headaches. I want things that are like done. I like the color of carpets you guys choose because I can see I'm like, oh, those are going to wear really well. They're not going to show dirt, So those kinds of practical decisions really make me feel like, wow, my money is there's a lot of value to it. Like it's going a long way. So the houses are nice, they're clean. Um, there's not excessive frills, they're safe, all the windows work. I just feel really like good about those kinds of decisions um, that you make, as far as like what needs to be done, what doesn't, where money should be spent. So yeah, I'm happy with it.
Good. And then you didn't stop there because we have another house under contract, which we have under contract for 65,000. It needs 49.5 in work. Were you able to go see
Yeah.
that house when we went down there on?
I just saw it. Yeah, I saw it. I think that's the center street. We saw it from the outside, and that's one. It's next to a church, and I think you have a client who has a property across the
Next
street or
door
next
and
door. Yeah, yeah. So right there, I was like, this is great. I like the idea. I think you said in one of your videos that you can kind of like own the neighborhood or control the neighborhood and keep meaning, not in a bad way, but like we can keep it up to a certain standard. we protect our property values because we're all kind of, in the same network. So I like that. That makes me feel really great. It's a larger house. I think it's great. It's next to a church. I wasn't able to go in it, but we could see it from the outside. So
Yeah,
I'm excited about that one too.
that'll be a 5 bedroom. That house is
Yeah.
huge. That'll be a
Yeah.
5 bedroom house that was originally listed for 95,000
Yeah.
that you got for 65.
Yeah.
It needs 15 work, but it's a 5 bedroom that's going to rent for
Yeah.
a month.
Yeah. Yeah. How could we not, like, so that's where like I had to like kind of get a little creative with some of my financing. Like I have a ton of equity out here, in my place in California. Of course, I'm at a 2.7 interest rate. So I'm probably never moving. I can't even rent in my neighborhood for as cheap as my mortgages. So, we took out a home equity. And the numbers still make sense. So, and I just figured, wow, now we can I have some houses that are bought outright. So we'll have some cash flow. And now I have some that I'm financing or, being a little bit more creative with. So we can afford to do it. And the numbers still make sense for us.
They totally make sense. And
Yeah.
so glad you said that because you've bought with cash, you've
Hmm.
done big rehabs, you are working on the Bur strategy, you're going to finance one of these. So you're doing everything. When you think about it, you're buying 6 homes within 7 months. You're doing 3 different techniques when it comes to purchasing.
Yeah.
You've got all this cash flow coming in. You've got all this cash flow coming. You've done what it takes real estate investors 10 years to accomplish. The experience that you've gained in such a short amount of time, Cyrus, it takes people years and years and years to.
Well, sure. I mean, but I would have if I was alone, without your team, um, I couldn't do it. It would take me 10 years of mistakes and thousands and thousands. I mean, tens of thousands of dollars down the drain. Um, so that's the only reason I could do it, truthfully. And I mean that wholeheartedly. I'm so appreciative of just how generous you are with all your resources.
Well, I appreciate that, and
Yeah,
you haven't made one mistake. And I remember telling you that I'm like, you're going to do it flawlessly. There's no mistakes. That's what the whole point
sure.
is you do it without any
Yeah,
hiccups, no hiccups at all.
yeah,
Everything
yeah,
gets done, and you have a team that this is what they specialize in. This is what they do.
yeah.
Let them work. I think that part of your success, and I was thinking about this actually this morning before this call, but I'm thinking in my head, how have we been able to do so much in such a short amount of time? And you have let the team work. You're not a micromanager. You know exactly what's going on. You sign
Yeah,
off on everything. Nothing is done without your say so. But you
yeah,
let people that specialize in this, you let them
sure.
work. And
You have to. Like, that's my philosophy. I really, even I have employees at my job. I believe in empowering people, encouraging people to make the right decision. And that's just kind of how things work best for me. And I don't have the capacity to try to like, and sometimes if I do get a little anxious or stressed out, you know what? It's so easy just to pick up the phone and send a text message, and I get the answer. So,
yeah, and I know they appreciate that, and it works great because
of course,
when you are the way that you are and you focus your time on what's most important, which is finding the next deal,
yeah,
sending offers, that's where your time's valuable because
exactly.
you're not a property manager, you're not a real estate agent.
No,
Your value is finding the next deal, which
yeah,
I mean, how do you argue that? You've been
yeah,
finding deals, you're finding these unbelievable properties, getting them at ridiculous discounts, putting people
yeah,
in, all the numbers work on every single one, and you're killing it. So then you have 5, you say, not enough. We got to do more. So you buy another one. This one is you have it under contract for 60,000. It only
hmm,
needs 19 in work. You're going to be into it for
yeah.
79. It'll be worth about 95 when we're done with it. You'll be into it for 79. It's going to rent for about 975.
It's great. Yeah,
So, the numbers are going to be great on that too. And at the end of this thing, you're bringing in almost 10,000 a month in
Yeah.
cash. It's like, how did you just create 120,000 in gross cash flow a
Nuts.
year
Yeah.
so fast? You know, it's just crazy.
Yeah. And it's guaranteed. I don't have to, which is what's so great. I almost feel, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know people out who had houses in that they were renting in Beverly Hills, very glamorous. I have this house, it's so many millions, and those houses get trashed. They can't collect the rent. You can't kick someone out of a house. It's the renter laws are so kind of skewed, out here, that as a landlord, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense. And one thing that you've been able to do is leave your comfort zone. And leaving your comfort zone has allowed you to make money that otherwise you wouldn't have. So when you think about that, leaving your comfort zone, adding so many properties so quickly,
Mhm.
what does the next 5 years look like for you, Cyrus, in terms of your portfolio?
Good question. Um, Well, one thing, I just watched one of your videos in which I so agreed with of that whole attitude that you just keep buying. You keep buying when interest rates are high, when they're low. It doesn't matter. You keep building. You have to in the game. There's no perfect time the perfect time is when you're ready to do it because, people have said, oh, the interest rates are high, and then my husband and I said, yeah, but we're talking about the properties are under $100,000. It doesn't make a big difference if it's 7% or 6% in the scheme of things. It really doesn't. So that's where you have to have that knowledge, and look at the facts and don't just believe what is kind of, people are saying without looking at the facts. So, yeah, now that we'll have the six, like to hold on to them and then, look at the next step of either doing cash out, taking money out, and then going and buying another five or six or whatever we can. Um, yeah, and then just kind of it'll be good for me to have to sit for like 6 months now, I think, or a few months. I may do I'm working on doing cash out refi just on one of them to get some cash for the other two because this whole thing pays for itself, which is what's so great. I'm not out money every month. It's paying for itself. I'm getting to write off the, improvements, the interest, on the loans. It's just making so much sense. So I think in 6 months, I'll have a great idea. It'll give me a chance to just kind of keep doing research. I look at every link that you send in those emails that you send every Monday just to educate myself on what's going on. Um, and then I keep my eye on certain properties. And then, yeah, and then I guess we'll see what happens. And then just see like what my options are, what makes the most sense to do, go buy, because if I can get cash out of these, properties, and then you have so much buying power to go in, and buy places. And if you've already inspected them, I can go in non-contingent on inspections and, get great deals. So that's what I would be looking for and just building a portfolio, you know?
Yeah. And you're
Yeah,
doing that's what you're doing. You're doing amazing. And that's what the future looks like. And you know what you're doing now. You know what your next 6 months look like. And you're planning
sure.
because then you want to be able to do the cash out refis on the large scale, take that money and buy 10 more and 10 more.
Yeah,
So have the vision, but more importantly, what you need more so than the vision is the plan to get there. And you have the proof of concepts already. You know it works.
yeah,
Now we're moving on to the next phase, which is locking in the cash out refis after a couple months of stabilizing everything we have,
sure.
cash flowing it, bringing in some money to where, just like you did with that first property, when you were like, okay, I got the payment, it works.
Yeah,
Now you stabilize our 6 units, and then you go, wow, even on a larger scale, this still works. And the reason that you're able to do that is because you've built the foundation, you've used the right people. And then once that foundation is strong, these six are always going to be your foundation. you can just keep building and building and growing. Now, Cyrus, you've been able to do something here that people dream of doing. You've done it ridiculously fast. If you could speak to somebody who was in your shoes 8 months ago, 7 months ago,
Sure.
before you started, and they're watching this video right now, what would you tell them?
Wow. Sorry. You know what? I watched the videos of other people who, were on this channel that you interviewed, and they were so helpful to me. And so I just let you know, like these are honest, true stories that I'm telling you. This has been my honest experience, and it's okay to do it. Like you will, even just try one of them, and once you see it, you'll want to keep going. Even if you stop at one property, even if you buy one, rehab one, and stop, it's going to make sense. You're going to be so happy. I could have stopped at one or two, and I'd have cash flow every month. That's what I was looking for. It's so much easier than you could imagine. It truly is, and it's not like some sleazy deal. It's not some pyramid weird thing. There's no weirdness. There's no ickiness dealing with anybody. I just feel like, there's a group of hardworking, honest people that are just all connected. And that, we found through you, Rhett, that, you've kind of assembled this team. I liked the fact that you were a sports player. I was like, oh, the guy gets what teamwork is and how important it is. Coaching is, you know what I mean? And people working, it's so important. I didn't play a lot of sports, but I can see the attitude. And so you're never alone. You're never isolated. You're not struggling how to figure things out. You just have to know what you need to do. I have to know what my role in the team is. And my role in the team is to come up with the, finances. My credit score is great, so I'm able to do things with that. So, I keep my side of the street really clean, do what I need to do, and let other people do what they need to do, and trust that, they're doing a good job, and you can make it happen.
You said it. I mean,
Yeah.
and I appreciate your trust in us to do what you wanted, to bring your vision and your dreams to a reality. Sure. Here. And we've got a long way to go. We're going to do 40, 50 of these things. If you can do 6 in 7, there, 5 years from now, if you don't have 75 or 100, I'm going to be mad. So keep going, guys. If you didn't listen to every word, go back, watch this video again. Please, for those of you watching this, if you have questions for Cyrus, drop them in the comments below. He's always in the comments. He'll get back.
Sure.
Anything that you guys, any questions you have, he's extremely, extremely helpful. Cyrus, thank you so much for your time today. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right.
So great to talk to you. Okay. Have a good one.